And in this case, and in cases involving murder, what we're talking about is an unlawful killing with malice aforethought. And malice aforethought, yes, is a form of premeditation, but there's no time limit or time requirement in proving malice aforethought. It can be seconds before. As long as malice exists in the heart and mind at the time before and during the killing, the state's proven malice aforethought.
When you went to the grand jury, did you present any other possible charges, manslaughter or anything else that the grand jury could consider?
This was the only indictment on this case that was presented today. And remember, in South Carolina, again, unlike other places, we don't have a grand jury of record. There's no court reporter there taking testimony, and in fact, the prosecutors don't present the case. The agents involved present the case. That's a little different than other states as well.
Are you prosecuting him for anything else?
Not at this time. We're going forward on the murder charge.
Are there any other cases pending before you in the Charleston County?
No.
Is he going to appear before his first scheduled appearance?
I don't know. Again, that'll be up to Judge Newman to decide whether or not we have hearings that will require his presence.
So what's your reaction to this indictment?
Well, again, we felt like the facts that were presented to us by SLAGER warranted our seeking the indictment from the grand jury, and we'll just move forward now in preparing our case. Really, the prosecution work has just begun, and as you see, I have Chief Deputy Bruce Durant here and Deputy Brian Alfaro here. They'll be trying and preparing this case with me. When that will be, we don't know, but we hope to hear from Judge Newman sometime soon as to when we can expect that.
Scarlett, any specific challenges you think in prosecuting this as you go forward?
Well, I don't want to discuss the facts of this case and trial strategy and things like that. We're going to be focused on getting all admissible evidence before the judge and jury and pursuing this case vigorously.
Will you be concerned about being able to assemble a jury in this area?
You know, certainly this case has gotten a lot of publicity, but the issue is not whether or not someone has heard about this case. The issue is whether or not they can put everything they've heard aside and make a decision based on the facts and the evidence that are presented in court. And usually people want to do that, and you'd be surprised how many people don't have a problem coming forward and telling us, look, I can't be fair, I don't want to sit on this case. So I feel sure the people of Charleston County can decide it.
Was the case presented to the grand jury today, or they returned it today? I mean, did you
It was presented today.
And so they did this within an hour or so, or whatever time?
I'm not sure exactly how long it took.
But it was all handled today?
It was all handled today.
There's been some call for you to recuse yourself from prosecuting this case. How do you respond to that? And
well, as you know, I've already responded to that, and I have no intentions of conflicting this case out. I don't have a conflict in the case. And I think the people of the Ninth Circuit elected me to be accountable to them. And that's what we intend to do. They need to know that they have someone prosecuting this case and any other case that we can legally prosecute who's accountable to them and who's here to answer when the case is over. Not to pack up and go home somewhere else, never to be seen or heard from again by the people here. So in any case where we can feasibly and ethically move forward, we're going to be the ones to do it, and it's no different in this case.
Explain how much having that video impacts your ability to present something like this to a grand jury and just your abilities to bring these charges so quickly.
Well, again, I don't want to get into the specific facts of this case, but in any case, more is better when you have more evidence, and it closes up the ability for questions to arise. It doesn't mean just because you have video in a case doesn't mean it's the be-all, end-all and the case is over. You think about all the bank robberies and armed robberies we have that we have video in all the time. But certainly, as a prosecutor, if we can have a case that depicts the crime and we aren't having to rely just on people's perceptions, the jury will be able to make up their own mind after seeing the video and hearing other testimony.
How strong is your case?
Well, I mean, the grand jury's indicted the case, and frankly, we have just received the case here in my office recently. So for me to assess the strengths of it would be a little premature, and I don't really think is my place to do to the media right now. Again, what our goal is to assemble all the evidence that we have that is admissible, to get it to the jury, and convince the jury as to why Mr. SLAGER has committed a crime. And that's